Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Arif Syaifullah and I am presenting this together with Wisnu Aji Susanto. Today we will present a review of a sociolinguistic journal article titled The Use of the Word Nego in Facebook Forum of Online Trading, written by Joko Santosa and colleagues. Let's start with the context and research problem. This study is set in the context of the rapid growth of online trading in Indonesia, especially through social media platforms like Facebook. As buying and selling move online, a very distinctive style of language start to emerge among sellers, different communities, different vocabulary. One word that stood out to the researchers was the word nego, short for negotiate. In Facebook trading forums, sellers don't just say nego plainly. They create dozens of variations like nego tipis, nego halus, or nego geden. The researchers found this interesting enough to study in depth, and their research questions were simple. First, what forms and reference does the word nego take? And second, what function does it serve for sellers? Next is how the research was actually conducted. This is a descriptive qualitative study, meaning the data is the form words, phrase, and sentence, not numbers. The data source is the actual speech of sellers taken from product advertisements posted in a Facebook trading forum, and the data was collected specifically in January 2022. For data collection, the researchers use a documentation method, basically taking screenshots and print screens of seller posts. Then for analysis, they use the Mills and Haberman model, which goes through 4 steps: data collection, data reduction or classification, analysis, and finally drawing conclusion. Next is 5 reference of the word nego. The research identified 5 categories. First, item price, like nego bensin or nego pertamax, referring to gasoline price. Second, final destination, like nego sakdadin, meaning negotiate until it's settled. Third, and this was the largest category at 36%, nature of the object, words like nego tipis or nego halus, describing how much room there is to bargain. Fourth, bargaining activity, words like nego ngawur, describing unreasonable offers from buyers. And fifth, amount of price, words like nego kedik or nego geden, referring to how big or small the discount is. As you can see from the chart, most of these nego words relate to the nature of the object being sold, followed by the bargaining activity itself. That is all from me. The next part will be presented by Wisnu Aji.
Alright, I will continue from what Ari mentioned. Beyond just the forms, the researchers also look at the function of the word nego. Why sellers use it the way they do. They found 3 main functions. The first one is to emphasize the price to prospective buyers, basically flagging that there's room to negotiate. The second is to maximize the buyer benefit, making the buyer feel like they are getting a good deal. And third, to keep the balance fair, so that neither the seller nor the buyers ends up feeling shortchanged. One more interesting point here. Like I said, the researcher noted that the most of the sellers appear to have a Japanese cultural background, which is reflected in the code mixing they use, combining Japanese, Indonesian, and even English in a single phrase, like nego halus or nego sampedil. Now, moving into our own discussion and critique of this article. On the strength side, we really appreciate that the data is authentic. It's real, unedited, language taken directly from social media, not something artificially constructed for the study. Focusing on just one word, nego, also gives the analysis a sharp, clear depth, and it's easy to replicate. The functional findings are genuinely useful too, especially for understanding persuasive communication in digital spaces. And the researchers did a good job connecting their finding to previous studies on similar platforms like Instagram, Shopee, and OLX. On the other hand, there are some weaknesses we notice. The data only covers 1 month, January 2022, which isn't really enough to capture how this language might change over time or season. Also, the study only looks at the seller's buyer perspective or completely left it out. Even though negotiation is inherently a two-way process, the claim that the most speakers have a Japanese cultural background is also just informed to vocabulary, without any actual demographic data to back it up. And finally, some of the 5 references categories feel like they overlap. The line between, say, nature of the object and bargaining activity isn't always clear-cut. Next is contribution and further research. In terms of contribution, this article adds meaningful value to the study of digital register and e-commerce language, which is still fairly new area in Indonesian linguistics. It also shows very clearly how code mixing between Japanese, Indonesian, and English plays out every day online trading. This kind of study could also serve as a useful reference for understanding persuasive language strategy on other digital platforms. As for how this research could be developed further, we think it would be valuable to expand the data collection to other platforms like TikTok Shop, Shopee, or Instagram, so we can compare across platforms. It will also help to include the buyer side. Does the word nego actually influence whether someone decides to buy? And finally, combining this kind of textual analysis with direct interviews would make the functional claim stronger, instead of relying only on the researcher's interpretation of the text. So, to wrap it up, this article really shows something interesting. A tiny word like nego can turn into dozens of variations, each carrying its own meaning and purpose. It's not just plain price bargaining. There's actually a communication strategy behind it. Sellers use this word to attract buyers while still keeping things fair for both sides. What makes this research worth talking about is that the data is real, taken straight from everyday life, not made it up. But there's still room for improvement, like the fact that it doesn't really include the buyer side, or that the data was only collected over 1 month.